Don't forget to hit subscribe and smack that bell button to become an honorary Fear member so that you never miss a video. Perhaps you've heard the phrase before, whether it have been during a job interview or perhaps an audition that you once took. It's something that happens to the best of us. When we're putting ourselves out there, when we're trying to gain the approval of others, and when we're trying to show the world that we're somebody. So what exactly am I talking about here? Well, I'm talking about the term behind the analogy, thank you next. A short phrase with a much deeper meaning. So what exactly do I mean by the thank you next analogy? Well, allow me to explain. In the world we live in today, it has become quite clear how important everyone's need for attention has become. I would honestly even go as far as it becoming an addiction for some at this point. From Instagram models posing for their daily flow of likes to your average video here on YouTube. Everybody wants to feel like they're wanted, and I am definitely no exception. But what happens when we take this notion deeper? Past the point of likes and retweets, beyond the dark reaches of social media, where we find the real reason behind why everyone now seems to want all this attention. The real answer here is, well, is wanting acceptance. We all come from different backgrounds, ethnicities, and beliefs of many kinds, and with all of us possessing unique qualities about each other, also includes the story that is our lives. Our need for acceptance, however, is all too common, as we all just want to feel like we're wanted and accepted by others, whether that be amongst our families, our peers, or really anywhere. Now, when I talk about the thank you next analogy, I'm not referring to the Ariana Grande song, which though granted is a great song, but rather the idea that conveys the feeling we all have when we put ourselves out there for something, but don't receive that feeling of acceptance back. As I was saying before, this is a very common phrase that many people out there who are applying for jobs, attending job interviews of some kind, business interviews, or even throwing themselves on auditions for roles in movies. It is definitely a phrase that for many people out there have heard far too often. But yet, the phrase in itself can be applied to so much more. Whether it be through meeting new people, attending meetings of any kind, customer service even, and of course, auditioning in front of an audience. When we throw ourselves out there into the world, we either receive that feeling of acceptance that we all so desperately crave, or towards the people we threw ourselves out to, they say to themselves, thank you, next, and walk away. So why does it hurt so much? Why does putting ourselves out there sting so much when we don't receive the acceptance we're looking for? Perhaps it's the vulnerability of putting ourselves out there for people, or maybe even the fact that it could be the insecurities we all hide behind. But whatever the reason, it all seems to affect us in a very similar way. Now personally, I know that with myself, I have always struggled with making new friends. Putting myself out there and meeting new people has always been a challenge for myself because of how it makes me feel. It can be an uncomfortable and even sometimes awkward feeling, but to be quite honest, I feel like it's only gotten worse for the majority of us. I mean, we never really leave our homes these days unless we need to, and most people would rather treat their own phones as their friends than actual people. But I digress. So now that you understand where I'm coming from, allow me to hopefully help you by changing your perception about some things. Now, I understand it's not an easy thing to come out and say, don't listen to what other people think, or who cares, you don't need them in your lives type of talks. But in reality, what really is the reason you care so much? I mean, it hurts when it feels like people don't accept you, right? But why? Maybe the reason behind why you feel so hurt when this happens goes much deeper than you thought. Perhaps the real reason behind it all isn't because of the lack of care from others, but the pain that lies behind the fact that you don't truly accept yourself. Think about it. We are all trying to be somebody and throw ourselves out into a world full of unforgiving opinions, continuous hate, and disconnection amongst each other. Imagine for a moment that the people who don't accept you can't hurt you. Because how could they? How can they hurt somebody who knows who they are and accepts who they are? Not feeling accepted by others would all of a sudden not really hurt so much because deep down, you know your worth. This world has grown to be so judgmental and unforgiving, which is unfortunate, and many people nowadays feel oppressed or unaccepted because of their opinions and beliefs. Not to say this world was never harsh before, but now with phones in our hands, it's really showing what kind of world we live in now. But in a world of harsh realities and negativity, let me say that your perception and your feelings of acceptance in this world can flourish into a life of well-being, happiness, and joy. The secret, however, lives deep within ourselves to make that happen. And if I'm being honest, I could go on and on about how the foods you eat, the way you sleep, and the habits you perform every day are also responsible towards the reasons why you feel pretty cruddy, but perhaps I'll save that for another day. The point is, we all have insecurities. We all desperately are trying to find ourselves and our reasons for wanting to feel accepted. But remember that you can't truly feel accepted until you've accepted who you are in this story we call life. We've all been put through so much in this life, and the thank you next analogy can at times feel like a hole was carved in the pit of our stomach. But if there is one positive thing that you can take away from this video for anyone out there that doesn't feel like they belong, who doesn't feel like they're accepted, that it doesn't matter what anyone out there says to you, it doesn't matter what anyone thinks about you, because at the end of the day, only you know your true worth. You are the only person in this world that can determine how you truly feel about yourself. And your worth can only be determined by you and you alone. It doesn't matter what other people think about you because, guys, this is your life to live. And I know many of you out there are struggling with this problem of acceptance. Again, this is your life. This is your one shot. This isn't an opportunity just handed to anybody in this universe, okay? You're one in a trillion. And this ship that we call life is only yours to steer. So steer it right and steer it proud. Because your ship should mean the most to you. Remember, we all feel this way, but yet deep down, so many of us think we're alone. But the truth is, you're not alone. We all suffer in our own ways, and our feelings towards acceptance is no exception. And as hard as it can be to move past the painful sting of people not feeling your worth, will slowly hurt less and less as you grow more as a person. So next time you feel down and unaccepted, take all this advice and remember your self-worth. It's not an easy road to take, and it certainly takes much time and practice to overcome the overwhelming feelings of acceptance with yourself. But with time, patience, and positive self-talk, you can and will eventually overcome it. No one said it'd be easy, but I believe in you. So go out there and start making a difference in your life. Be a happier you, a better you, and most importantly, a more accepting you. And while that concludes today's video, guys, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I know this has been a little different from what I've been uploading lately, but I know a lot of you guys out there are struggling, and I thought it would be nice to upload some kind of pick-me-up here on this beautiful Sunday morning. If you guys want to see more kinds of videos like this, I would love to hear your opinion down in the description below, and I would also love to know, what advice can you give on how to feel accepted in your life? Your comment could be helping some people out there, and hey, you can consider it your good deed of the day. Also, guys, I want to let you know that I just recently opened up my merch store with CrowdMade. The merch we've got up there is so cool. We've got beanies, sweaters, hoodies, shirts, and so much more, and they're very professionally made. We've got embroidery, Fear razor stuff. So if you guys want to check that out, it's down in the description below. And for anybody that gets any of my merch, take a picture, send it over on my Twitter, my Instagram, and I'll be promoting you guys on all my platforms. That's right. YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all of it. The whole shebang. So again, it's down in the description below if you want to check it out. But either way, guys, again, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Alright, guys, take care, and have a great day. See ya!